Sabrina, and if you're wondering why recommendations is written like that in the intro, is because a lot of people made fun of the way that I said it in my last Netflix video, which is actually part 1 to this video, and it has 10 other suggestions for you in case you want to go check those out. But anyways, under that comment, I got a lot of comments roasting me. I'll insert some of them here, and I just kind of wanted to come on here and let you know that I am ESL, which means that English is my second language and my accent is gonna be coming out every once in a while. And there's some words that I just don't think I'm ever gonna be able to pronounce exactly right, like recommendations or prejudice, which was another one that a lot of people were calling me out on that last video. But I just wanted to let you know so that you don't roast me again in the comments. It really hurt. It really sent me back to elementary school. It was tragic. Also, there's a few other things that I really do want to say. First thing is, everything that I'm recommending is currently on the Canadian Netflix. I'm hoping that the US will have very similar kind of selection, but if some of the things that I'm recommending to you are not on your Netflix, I'm sorry, I'm in Canada and I'm filming this in January, so some of the things might not be on your country's Netflix and some of the things might have been taken off depending on when you're watching this video. And that is all there really is to it. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. Okay, I went to go drink some water and I literally spilled it on my shirt, so that's why I've changed. But anyways, the first thing that I am gonna be recommending is called Lost in Space, and this is a TV show, and basically there's this family that is trying to leave Earth to go to this new colony, but their spaceship gets thrown off course and they end up in this different planet that looks very much like Earth, but it proves to be very, very different. And the youngest family member, who is a boy named Will, comes across this AI robot alien thing. I'm not really sure what to call it, but he essentially befriends it, and then together they must find a way to survive and try and get off of the planet. And then there's also some sneaky characters that we don't like. If you've seen the show, you know who I'm talking about, but this adds like different layers to it, which can be pretty intriguing. And right now there's only 1 season, but they have confirmed the season 2, which is pretty exciting. The next thing that I'm recommending is a movie called Bird Box, and you might have heard about it because it was all over the internet when it first came out, but if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It is so good. I really did enjoy it. It is about these new mysterious creatures, demons. No one really knows exactly what they are, but they show up and a whole bunch of the population starts to kill themselves. The premise is that if you see them, you're dead. Yeah. That's all there really is to it. Apparently they take the form of your worst fears and that makes you want to die. The survivors must figure out a way to keep on surviving, and this entails things like wearing a blindfold or just figuring out a whole new way of living. Then we follow Sandra Bullock's character and her children as they try to find a safer place to live at. And it is so good. The acting is amazing, obviously with Sandra Bullock, but the whole cast was actually really great in it. And I didn't find it that scary, which was great because I'm not really a horror movie kind of person. I hate horror movies, but this was much more of just a drama slash thriller kind of thing, so I do recommend it. So my last video, I got a lot of comments of people leaving me their own favorite TV shows and just sharing them amongst each other, which was really awesome. And a lot of people said The 100, which is great because it is absolutely one of my favorite shows. I think I started watching it maybe 4 years ago. I don't know, whenever it first came out. But I'm just gonna tell you about season 1. Essentially, Earth was wrecked by nuclear warfare and we have a whole bunch of people living up in this space station called the Ark, and it's been some time, so they're running out of resources. So the leaders have this bright idea to send down 100 juvenile delinquents, and that's why it's called the 100, but they send them down to Earth to figure out if Earth is livable. And these teens have lived their whole lives in space, so Earth is very new to them, and they must figure out a way to survive and cross new obstacles that they come across. I think that's all I can really say, but the show really does change from season to season. I mean, now it's a whole different thing, but it's really great and I'm really looking forward to season 6 and you should watch it. The next thing that I'm recommending is a movie called iBoy, and I know the title is kind of weird, like, I don't know, iCarly or something. And it's kind of misleading because it makes it seem like it's a very like teen geared movie. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it definitely does deal with some more mature subject matter like drugs and gang violence, that sort of thing. And it's about this boy teenager that gets shot in the head while he's walking with his phone. So a whole bunch of the phone fragments go into his brain and they give him these technological superpowers that he tries to use for revenge and to kind of try and clean up his neighborhood from gang-related crimes. And there's some weird things in it, but overall I found it to be a pretty enjoyable kind of watch. This next thing was mentioned quite a bit in the comment section of my last video, and that is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And I initially started watching the show because my friend Peter was in it, and I actually ended up really liking it. It is by the same creators of Riverdale, and a lot of people were mad in my last video that I didn't include Riverdale, but that's because I have a whole video on my channel dedicated to Riverdale, so that's why I'm not really including it. But anyways, this is based on the comic called Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and it obviously revolves around Sabrina, who is a half witch and a half mortal, and she doesn't know what the heck to do with the fact that she's from two different worlds. So we kind of see her struggling with her identity and what she's gonna do, and a whole bunch of dark things happen. Also a whole bunch of really, really weird things happen, but it's kind of intriguing that way, and it makes for a really great binge watch. If you want a more comedic, easy watch, one of those 20-minute episode type shows, then I definitely recommend The Good Place. It is so good, pun intended. Well, not originally intended, but it worked. And the whole show is set in the afterlife, and there is the good place and there is the bad place, kind of like heaven and hell. And Eleanor gets into the good place, but she finds out pretty soon that they made a mistake and they have the wrong Eleanor. So she tries to pretend to be the real Eleanor so that she can stay in the good place, because who the heck wants to go to the bad place? So we kind of follow her and a whole bunch of other characters, and there's some discussions on morality, but it's done in a very easy to watch kind of comedic way, which is great. And there is a big twist at some point in the show, which I'm gonna let you find out for yourself. The next thing that I'm recommending is a movie called Imitation Game, and it was nominated for a whole bunch of awards, and I'm pretty sure that it won an Oscar, so it's really, really good, really well done. And it is based on the true story of Alan Turing during World War II, in which they were trying to crack the German Nazi code called Enigma. So we follow Alan Turing along with a whole bunch of other mathematicians that are trying to crack the code, and there's some questions of morality, and we also just kind of live in the world of World War II and what that was like. And just a really well done movie. If after watching The Imitation Game you need something a little bit less emotionally taxing, then I definitely recommend watching Set It Up, which is a romantic comedy, and it is about these two overworked, kind of underpaid assistants that basically control their bosses' lives because they do all of the scheduling for them, and then they figure, hey, what if our bosses started dating? Then they would be off canoodling and being romantic and doing all those sort of things instead of bossing us around so much, and they might be a little bit more happy and cheery and we won't have to do as much work. That was their logic. So they try and set up their bosses, but along the way of doing that, they may or may not start liking each other. And that is the whole premise of the movie. It is one of those very easy watch, kind of feel-good ones that I definitely do recommend if that's what you're in the mood for. This next thing I absolutely had to put in here because I love Ellen DeGeneres. I think she's so great, such an amazing human being, really positive energy, just so much warmth, love her. Anyway, she came out with this new Netflix special, which is her comedy show. I think it's about an hour long, maybe an hour and 10 minutes, something like that. And I watched it with my family over the holidays and we all laughed a lot. It was really funny, really great. Just an overall feel-good watch if you need a little pick-me-up. I mean, anytime Ellen made a joke, I was like, This next thing I absolutely had to include in here because it is probably one of my favorite movies, and that is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. It has such a great cast. I mean, Logan Lerman, Emma Watson, Ezra Miller, Nina Dobrev. I hope I'm not missing anyone, but it's just so good. It revolves around this teen, Charlie, who is this kind of socially awkward teen who ends up making these two new friends that make him really happy, but they're gonna be leaving off to college soon, so he has a lot of sadness inside, and we learn later that there is a heck of a lot of stuff to his backstory, and it deals with a lot of mental health issues, a lot of issues that need to be talked about. So definitely an emotionally taxing movie. Alright, those are all the suggestions I'm going to be giving you. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on your bell notifications. It really does help me out. And leave comments down below letting me know what your favorite things to watch are. I know I found a lot of new shows and movies through the comments on last time's video, so definitely do that. And if you want to see a part 3, let me know again, and hopefully I will catch you in my next video.